we said we liked weights, but at the same time, we didn't do anything to weights. Does that make sense?
We didn't take any measures.
No, we didn't take any measures.
We didn't take any measures.
Should I
now.
expose?
No, shut up.
We tried to take measures, but we're not diligent enough. So we knew the game. We knew we were playing with fire, so we got burnt.
Oh. Hi,
I'm T.
and this is Honey. Welcome back to our YouTube channel.
Right, so we have a sort of personal and important topic we want to talk about today.
Yeah.
And what is that topic?
Should you get pregnant right after getting married, or
Yes.
should you wait? And how long? What are the pros? What are the cons?
What
And
should
what
you
are the things to
consider?
consider?
Yes. So
We'll start by sharing our own story.
if you follow this channel, you know that we got pregnant right after marriage.
No time to waste. I'm just joking.
I remember during our premarital counseling,
Mm.
our pastor asked us, he said, "Oh, what's the plan? Do you guys want to give birth immediately? Do you want to wait?" And I remember we looked at ourselves and like, we want to wait,
No,
want to wait till
that was one of the conversations we never actually.
Yeah, we never had it. No, we never had it. Like, it was never a plan, like a fixed on paper.
Yeah.
We said we liked weights, but at the same time, we didn't do anything to weights. Does that make sense?
We didn't take any measures.
No, we didn't take any measures.
We didn't take any measures.
Should I
now.
expose?
No, shut up.
We tried to take measures, but we're not diligent enough. So we knew the game. We knew we were playing with fire, so we got burnt.
Oh. What is the result of our bones?
She's running around the sitting room at the moment. Anyways, we're open. We're not saying, strictly we have to wait a year. No,
Mhm.
we're open to having child anytime. But a part of us was hoping that God's clock would delay a bit, that kind of a thing. So
Don't do it. Don't plan like that. That's rubbish.
yeah, and so we got pregnant right immediately, and literally that changed our life. And I'm sure you've heard many people say, "Oh, when you get married, wait a bit because that helps your friendship and many things." So what we want to discuss is how that impacted us both
Yeah.
positively and negatively, and what just advice to anyone that's newly married or you're planning to
get
just things you should know to know which do you want to go right away or do you want to wait a bit. So let's get into it.
So we're going to be talking about the pros of getting pregnant early. And number one is starting your family
early. Yes, we had Bella before our first year anniversary.
Mhm.
And what that meant for us was starting the family early enough. Of course, depending on how old you are when you're getting married. If you're getting married in your early 20s, you can decide to wait a bit. There's no rush. But if you're getting married into your 30s, then you might just want to start a family early enough. Of course, we'll say more points on why this is, but that's an advantage. You start your family early enough, you know what it is like having a child, how that will influence your marriage and everything. So yeah, that's first benefit.
Yeah. Number two pro is biological benefits.
Yeah.
It's no news that if you're younger, fertility is usually at its peak.
Yeah.
Basically, the younger you are, the higher your chances, the higher your fertility, and the higher your chances of having children. All right, it's statistics, it's science.
Yeah.
It's set on stone. So that's another. I don't think I need to lay emphasis on that.
Yeah.
That's another pro.
Yeah. And of course, this leads us to the second point: a strong bond through parenthood. You never unleash another level of friendship with your partner till a child comes in the mix.
Yeah.
Because the child is in the mix, naturally that will definitely put a gap between you. Imagine just the two of you alone in the house. Anywhere you're going to, just the two of you, just my husband and I. But now, my wife and I in this context. But now that you have a child in the mix, you have to find a way to build a friendship and intimacy with the child in the mix. So you learn a new level of bond, and it also kind of strengthens your bond because you've bonded on many levels. Now you bond with a child in between, through the time during the pregnancy period, where you're rubbing back, doing massage. Like I discovered I could be a masseuse, that's what they call it, a massage therapist when my wife was pregnant, that was
Potential.
exactly. All supposed to be encouraging.
Saying that you discovered your potential now.
Okay, okay, I don't say
Eh,
potential. Yeah, it's
no,
like,
no.
yes, book me. No, don't book me. But you just unleash that new level of bond between you. You bond through the pregnancy, you
Mm.
bond through the labor and the giving birth, you bond through changing diapers, washing bomb, like just many opportunities to bond. So that's another
Yeah, and of course, if
benefit.
you're married to a kind person,
Yeah,
it also reveals a different side of your partner that you
yeah,
probably never knew existed.
yeah,
The selflessness, the hardworking, like a whole lot. Like the list goes on and on,
yeah.
right? I think the next point would be okay. We're moving to the cons, Abby.
No, so I think the last point is new areas
New areas of
of
growth.
growth. Yeah,
Yeah, new areas of growth. It's like I said, it reveals a side of you that apart from you
yes,
even discovering it in your partner, even your partner is discovering that part of themselves.
yes,
So it just pushes you to it reveals a new level of a new areas of growth. Sorry,
yeah,
it reveals new areas
of
of
growth.
growth,
Yeah,
right? You become more responsible, you become more selfless, like I said before,
yeah,
and also even in the aspect of financial management. All right. I don't think we prioritize finances or managing our finances as much as we have since we became
yeah,
parents.
yeah.
You get because some more things are costly
Yeah.
or
There's something I tell my friends that they're expecting. I tell them that the arrival of the child would reveal a new side of them that
Mm,
they never knew was
yeah.
there. This can be both positive and negative,
Hmm.
but there's a lot of positive. So that's one thing that having a child, will
Yeah.
also do for you.
Yeah.
And of course, this leads us to the
Cons. So
cons.
getting pregnant immediately.
So start.
Okay, so number one is you most likely will have, in fact, you definitely will have less time to bond as a couple.
Yeah.
You have less time to bond as a couple. Pregnancy and parenting demands so much of your time,
Yeah.
so much of your time, especially in that newborn
Period.
phase. You have to be delicate with everything. You're constantly checking if they are breathing. You have to make sure they are well fed. You
Yeah.
have to make sure they are breathing fine. You have to make sure nothing is on their body. They're not jaundiced. There's nothing strange because any little thing can lead to seeds. That's
Yeah.
sudden infant death. So it's a very delicate stage. And I think one thing I always say is as much as this is a con, it's also a pro because like he said earlier, it's an opportunity to
To
strengthen
bond
your
and to
bond.
grow. Yeah.
But it's also very easy to get separated at a stage like that because you no
Yes.
longer feel prioritized by your partner, especially the husbands are the ones that usually feel like this.
Yeah.
There's the sexual demand, there's the attention,
Yeah.
and all of that. And the woman cannot deliver because she has herself to take care of. She's still
Yeah.
healing.
Yeah.
She has a baby to take care of. So it's a lot of responsibility and then having to add you to all
Right.
of that. So um I think what I'm trying to drive at is as much as that is a problem, there's a pro there, but it will only be a pro. That is the bonding. If you put in the work, the
Yeah.
intentionality, because most times the reason the husband feels detached and feels neglected is because he's not participating in the parenting journey in that stage.
Yeah.
So it's very important that you're intentional and you participate. So you even understand why what it is the way it is the way it is. Yeah.
All right, and of course, leads to the second point, and that's financial pressure.
Mhm.
Financial pressure,
Mhm.
and the truth is, having a child is expensive.
Yeah.
There are no two ways to say it. So,
Diaper is
which is
almost
why,
15K.
which is, which
Kai,
is,
how much is formula?
which is why.
Baby, how much is baby clothes? At least they're still cheap
See,
wipes.
all baby things are expensive.
Ah, God.
That's just it. So,
Do you know how much school fees is now? Ah, God. Continue.
which is literally why one of the cons of having a child is financial pressure. If
Yeah.
you are not, and especially when you have a child right after marriage, when you're not, when you didn't plan for it.
Mhm.
So what that means is, for ideally, you should save up to a child. Save up to the money for the hospital care. For, like she said, baby formula is expensive. Let me give you context. There's a time in which Bella was, the formula cost 32,000 and she was finishing it in less than 10 days. Do the maths. So literally every month she was spending nothing less than 90,000 on just baby formula. We've not calculated diapers, clothes and other things. So it is expensive.
Yeah.
So if you're it's something that would put financial pressure on you when you didn't plan it. And of course, diaper is not the end. You will say, oh, at least they will stop wearing diaper, then they'll start attending school. School fees.
Yeah.
So, and this is not to scare anybody,
Mhm.
but it's just to let you know that these are things you need to plan and prepare for.
Yeah, just
So,
help you face the reality.
Yes.
Just help you face the reality. Anyway, not everybody might be able to relate to the formula
Yes,
formula
of course,
part early. It's because I wasn't lactating. It
Yeah.
was a big struggle, you know, and I had to look for the best formula for her. I didn't want her taking the regular ones, but if I was that taking, I should take the regular one.
You know, she said best
anyway.
formula. You think, oh, the best formula cost 32,000. No, there's a formula that is 82,000.
Yeah.
And you still finish
We
it
saw
like
more
easy.
expensive ones, so we just decided to opt for that one. Because the next point is impact on career, and this is for the women. The men don't have, you know, their career is not impacted in any way, because I think the highest I've seen, the holiday they give men for postpartum whatever, is 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
And that's even the organization I was working in, and that's because he was
people-
close to the
yeah,
boss.
most
So most
it's
people is 1 week.
Yeah.
And I think that's wickedness, and it needs,
But
it
for
needs to
women,
be,
it's
you know,
3
revised. It's
3
wickedness.
months.
But for women, it's 3 months, right? And if you work in the corporate sector, you will know that a lot can be achieved within that 3 months.
Yeah.
And by the time they're doing appraisal, you realize a lot you've missed out on a lot, and it has, you know, greatly negatively impacted your career,
Yeah.
right? For me, for example, I had to leave my job. Why? If you've been following our YouTube videos, you know that I was working on the island. I was living on the island. That's for people that understand Lagos, right? And my work was literally like less than 15 minutes away from my house. And I got married. I had to move to the mainland, and I got pregnant, which means it was a lot. And my pregnancy was
You felt pregnant.
I felt pregnant. And my pregnancy was terrific. I vomited from day 0 to day whatever I gave birth to Bella. How many days I don't know. But from beginning to the end, I vomited. I had the condition called hyperemesis gravidarum or something like that. It's intense and extreme nausea. Anywho, so I could not handle, you know, literally traveling to work. It was a journey. Literally traveling to work and still handling pregnancy was a high risk this thing. So I had to quit my job, and I had to move to a whole new career path. I was confused for a while. You know, I tried out different things before I eventually, you know, before I eventually chose or opted for content creation and counseling and all of that. So yeah, that is my own story. Just this is not to scare you, like you said, it's to help
It's
you
just to
face
make
the
you aware.
reality, just to make you aware of the
Yeah.
possible things that might happen. So yeah, the next point.
And of course, the next point would be impact on, you know, adjustment on stress. Having a child brings stress as well. You know,
Yeah.
there's stress on your career, there's stress on your finances, there's just general stress, even emotionally as well.
Your chores will
Imagine,
increase as
yes,
well.
your chores will increase. You have to, you have more clothes to wash. And if
You
you don't
wash
know it,
almost every day.
yes, babies wear, they change
At
their
least 4 or
clothes.
5 every day.
Exactly. So there's just that much demand, especially when you don't have as much help as you need. And of course, help is even another stress. Imagine just 2 of you in the whole of the house, you can walk around naked and, you know, have all your freedom and the fun and everything. Now you have help because of a child. That limits, like having an extra,
Freedom. It means your freedom.
yes, limits your freedom. There's extra person to deal with in the
Feed.
house, to feed, etc. So that's part of the things that you have to accommodate. It just even you sleep less. Of course, I'm sure you've heard of that. You sleep less. I don't want to say you worry more, but you have an extra person that can think and, you know, take care of themselves that you have to put into consideration.
Yeah.
So this literally adds more stress to you. Before you can decide to sleep long hours, you can decide to go out. Literally, it impacts and influences your entire life and your entire work schedule or life schedule. So it's another thing that you have to also know as well. So yeah,
that's important. Okay. Anyway, so as you said all this, I just remember how free we were at home before we eventually got help, and I wouldn't trade it for anything, Sha, because help will actually help you a lot.
Yeah.
You get that. Anyway, so lastly, we'll be talking about things to consider
Yes.
before making a decision. Oh, should I get
should I
pregnant immediately?
early? Should I wait a
Or
bit?
should I wait a bit?
These are
And
things,
number one is age and fertility.
yeah.
Age and fertility. If you are older, you're probably more concerned about fertility and all of that. So if someone that marries at 23, 24, 25, 26 is saying, oh, I want to wait a year, I want to wait 2 years, you don't have the luxury
Yes.
of time, you don't have the luxury of decision or choice, right? In that aspect, you have to consider your health, you have to consider so many things to consider,
Yeah.
right? And I'm saying this because I have mom friends around me who are older than me with say 3 years, and they've either clocked 30 or they're approaching 30, and um some of them have children that are Bella's age mates or even younger than Bella, and they already have another child. Why? Because they want to have all their children before they clock 30.
Yeah.
You get, so they don't
And
have to worry about
yeah.
the risk of not being able to get
Yeah. And of
pregnant
course,
again.
she had already entered the next point, and that's family planning.
Mm,
What will influence how early you want to have a child and even how you space them out is family planning.
yeah.
At what age do you want to be done with that children?
Mm-hmm.
How many years do you want to put in between it? Think
Mm-hmm.
about it. Think about it. Our parents, like for instance, my parents, they had, four, and the space was 2 years, 3 years, 3 years, 2 years. By the time you add everything together, imagine you start having a child at 30, for instance. Now, by the time you space it, you're still having your children to you want to, like she said, based on health, you want to have all your children before 40, so you can't just say, okay, you know what, we got married at 25, let's wait 5 years, then we still want to have 5 children. The math is not mathing, so
Yeah.
just put this in consideration, do your math, do your calculation, and that will influence how soon. If you're in your early 20s, you can wait a year, you can wait 2 years. If you're in your late 20s, it's advisable.
2 years feels short, but it's actually long. I
Yeah.
don't know why you waited
So
that long.
yes, if you're in your late 20s, maximum can wait a year. Of course, the reason why you're doing that is to form, strong bond and everything. But if you know that you have concern with fertility, then just go ahead.
And
And of course, there are other things when other things also align. Yes, because there are many things to put in consideration, and that leads to
just
yeah,
something just popped to my mind, right?
yeah,
And is that thing of people saying, oh, they're waiting 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, or whatever, or however long you want to wait just to strengthen
the bond.
the bond, figure out marriage before you start figuring out parenthood and all of that. Is I still like to say that I don't think it's important, don't get
It's
me wrong.
important, oh,
But it's
it's
very
important.
important.
Yeah,
What I'm trying to say is that don't overstretch it, because parenting will still shake you.
yeah. No
Parenting is a
matter how
lot.
long you wait.
It will still shake you.
Yeah,
So don't forget to still be intentional. I know
yeah.
I'm emphasizing this. This same parenting that's brought people stronger. Sorry, that brought people
Yes.
stronger together, that made their bond stronger, has also separated some people.
Yeah.
I know people that have waited years before they even had children, and they still ended up separating because of children, because of
Yeah.
parenting.
Yeah.
So just don't.
Yeah.
I just needed to point
Yeah.
that out.
It's,
It's
a,
very
it's an
important.
important balance.
It's very
Really.
important.
It's an important balance.
It's very
If you
important.
don't plan for it, it doesn't matter how long you
Yeah.
build your bond, it will still, yeah. And
Yeah.
and of course, this leads to the
Um
next point, and that's
Financial preparedness. I think we've
Yes.
touched a lot on this, especially with
Yes.
all the things I listed.
Yeah.
Babies are expensive,
Yeah.
from formula to diapers, so everything, name it, they are
Yeah.
very, very expensive. So you want to plan ahead for that.
Start saving.
Even just
Yeah.
going to the hospital, even giving birth vaginally, it costs a lot.
Yeah.
It costs a lot, right? Now talk more of having the child through CS, and the truth is you don't know what your own will be, you don't know
Yeah.
what your case will be, right? So it's just better to be prepared ahead
and-
of time and just save towards that. It's very, very important.
And I think one way you can do that is talk to parents around you, ask
Yeah.
questions.
How did you do it?
How did you, how much did it cost? Just
You
of
can
course,
even go to the
yeah,
hospital and find out, like,
exactly.
oh, what is the cost of
Yes.
what does childbirth cost
Cost at
now
this
and everything,
place,
what's
how much
CS
it
label,
is.
and then just save towards it.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's not difficult.
Yes.
And that leads us to the next point as well, is emotional readiness. Parenting requires a lot of maturity and teamwork. Emphasis on teamwork. It's not the mother's job alone. Gone are those days where father will go and mom is just you have to participate. You have to participate. It requires teamwork. And the truth is, as we're talking about, as I made the point earlier, I think we're talking about pros, right? When you leave, sorry, it was the cons. The first point about how that can separate the couple and everything, is that another reason why parenting leads to the end of marriages is also because mothers are left to do it alone, and they are so tired at the end of the day that when the man comes back, he now wants her, and then she's like, "You don't know what I've done all day, blah 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 blah," and then it's just a constant argument, and before you know it, the other person has gotten over asking the other person you get my point. So yeah, that's another thing. It tires one person out if it tires the other person out if they're the only one
doing
doing
it.
the work.
Yeah. And I think just to add an important aspect of emotional readiness is to even ask yourself, am I ready to be responsible for
A
a
whole other
life?
human being.
Imagine maybe you're just getting over um maybe you lost a job or something, or work. Like imagine maybe you're not personally in a good space.
Mm.
So you have to know that, see, I'm in a space where I can actually also be responsible for your life. So
And if you
yeah,
like, and if you constantly think about it, doesn't even mean you're going through anything, but
yeah,
it's just scary to
yeah,
think that, oh, I'm going to be responsible for a whole other human being. Talk to a counselor,
yeah,
talk to a therapist. They are there for you. Okay. Um. Okay. Let me know. That's conversation for
yeah.
another time.
And of
But
course, yeah. So leads to the last point, and that's relationship bond.
bond.
And see, many people say, "Oh, we want to be, spend some time, be married before then." Don't you don't stand your you don't start your bond in your marriage. You start long before it.
Yeah.
So how, like, we're surviving, we're doing well. We didn't have 1 year to just have fun, and so have been cool, so have been nice, but we had built a strong bond
Yeah.
prior to it, and
Yeah.
that helped us navigate. So start building your friendship now. Make sure that you're, even for instance, you're dating. Don't make your dating all about eating shawarma and rice, visiting places and taking pictures. Start building your bond from
Yeah.
now. So your bond does not start in marriage. So yeah.
Yeah, and just to wrap it up, right? Whatever decision you choose to make, just make sure it's made
Together.
together.
Absolutely.
If you need to talk to someone and seek wisdom, do that. And yeah, God is your strength. All
All right.
right. So
So
thank you for
yeah.
watching. Let us know what you think in the comment section. What decision would you be making? And don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to drop a comment. And yeah, if you have questions for us, we'd like to answer your questions.
Yeah.
So just check the description box. There'll be a link to ask your questions, and we'll be looking out for it. So see you next week.